Hi, my name's Emma and I run The Dating Mermaid. You can find more of my stuff, such as my blogs and products, at thedatingmermaid.com. Now, in this video, I just wanted to talk to you about the two types of men that you should avoid dating. To me, there's three types of men in the dating world, or three categories. Two you should avoid, but one you should definitely invest your time and emotion in. Here are those three different types. You've got the unsuitables, the dysfunctionals, and the right ones. Obviously, the right ones are for you, and you want to find a way to spot and then avoid the unsuitables and the dysfunctionals. So let's have a look at those types. Type number one, the unsuitables. These are just the wrong men for you. You're just incompatible. They're normally good men, decent people, and they're just good for somebody else. They're just not for you. Examples of unsuitables are men that have very different values to you. So, for example, you may value peace and quiet and staying at home, whereas you may date a man who values adventure and excitement. And that difference in values may mean they're incompatible. Alternatively, you may value family and want children, whereas he doesn't want children and doesn't value family as much. And that difference in values, again, may make you incompatible. Another type of unsuitable is the safe frog. This is a nice man who you enjoy the company of, but you just don't have that sexual chemistry with them. You potentially could have a very comfortable relationship with him, but you just don't have that sexual chemistry. Now, some people do date safe frogs and have relationships with safe frogs because safe frogs make you feel safe. You know that it's highly unlikely that they are going to end the relationship with you. They are normally more into you than you're into them, but deep down you know that you're not fully interested. So this is not the best relationship to have, even though you potentially could. And then finally, you've got men that have very different interests to you. So I've just put here that it's just a possibility, or it's possibly unsuitable, because two people can have very different interests but still have a really healthy and good and happy relationship. So a difference in interest doesn't necessarily equal a deal breaker, but potentially it could do. So let's now look at type number two, the dysfunctionals. Now, dysfunctional men are basically men that are either immature or they've got issues which are going to lead them to upset you, right? So the difference between a dysfunctional and an unsuitable is that unsuitables are generally good people, they're just not for you, whereas dysfunctionals are men that are going to behave in ways that are going to lead to disappointing you and breaking your heart. So dysfunctionals are the real ones that you've got to avoid. You potentially could kind of limp along and date or have relationships with people in the unsuitable category, but the dysfunctionals is going to cause you pain. So these are probably the five main types. You've got your control freaks, you've got commitment phobes, you've got your partially interested men, you've got your abusive men, and you've got your players and womanizers. So most people will probably know what most of these are. Some people might be unaware of what a partially interested is. That is basically a man who's not fully interested in a woman. He likes the benefits of being around her, but doesn't like the costs and the pain of committing to her. Some partially interested men are actually commitment phobes. They've got a phobia of relationships and commitment, whereas other partially interested men are just not actually fully interested in the woman that they're dating. But in time, they will become fully interested in another woman. And then you've got type number three, you've got the right ones. And you'll see there that I've put ones rather than one. And that's because I believe that there are many people out there that you could have a quality relationship with, not just one individual. So obviously, when you're dating, you want to find as many people as possible that potentially could be the right one. And then you want to find the best option out of all of those types of men. Now, during dating, the dating process, it's important to work out which category each man you date falls into. So what I've created is the 3 men buckets diagram, just to let you know about how you can separate people. So you meet men and you work out, are they an unsuitable, a dysfunctional, or potentially the right one? And what you do is you mentally throw them into one of these 3 buckets. What you'll see here is there's a discrepancy in the size of these buckets, and I wanted the difference in sizes to represent the number of men in each category. So when you're out dating, the majority of men you meet are going to be unsuitable. So there's nothing wrong with them, they're decent people, they're just not for you. Then you're going to have a smaller number of people that are going to be dysfunctional. So they're going to be immature or they've got issues to the point where they're going to upset you in some shape or form. Then what you've got is you've got the right ones, and this bucket is even smaller than the other 2. So I wanted to demonstrate this visually, how the sizing of these 3 different buckets. But don't worry, as you can see there, the right ones still do contain quite a few men. So that's the goal during dating. You're identifying which bucket does each of the different men fall into. You discard the ones in the unsuitables and the dysfunctionals, and you invest your time and emotion in the right ones. Well, I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. It's certainly given you food for thought, hopefully. Let me know what you think of the contents of the video in the comments box below. We're really interested to hear your thoughts. If you're interested in reading some of my blogs, then pop over to my website, thedatingmermaid.com. And if you're interested in checking out my dating, relationship or breakup recovery toolkits, then just pop over to my Etsy store. You can find that at www.thedatingmermaid.etsy.com. Thanks for listening. Bye now.